Hi, it's Tuesday, June 17th. Jesse here. Just trying to make sense of what we are going to do next. I've realized that, like, in the coalition of groups, that we all have our strengths, right? And I'm trying to find mine, because it's like this was like never something that I had dreamt was going to happen, to show up as a Facebook group that now is its own breathing, living entity in a sort of crazy way that had nothing to do, like, no, I can't really say, like, yes, I put work into it, but, like, it's really the people that have made what it is. Like, it's not me. But anyways, I think it'll be cool if, like, we could talk about what's next. And these YouTube shorts are going to be me driving into work, telling you my first morning thoughts, maybe telling you what's happened the day before or the day after this week. And not because I think that, like, what I'm doing is super interesting, but I do think that what I'm doing shows that, like, you can go from a place of not being super involved in your community or politics. And for the record, I am a nurse and I have done, humanitarian work previously, so it's not something I was disinterested in. I guess I didn't realize how much you could really do, like, right here in your own area. And not because I thought about it and thought it wasn't happening. I guess maybe it wasn't something that at the time I felt compelled to really invest my time in. So I'll give you an example. I had the opportunity to go to Africa. I went through a program that was funded originally by Harvard University called Road to IR. I went to Africa in 2021 with a doctor I worked with at the time, and Road to IR is like a phenomenal program, and it pays for a nurse, a doctor, and usually an IR technologist to fly to areas in Africa that are trying to build interventional radiology programs. So I work in IR here, and so that was super appealing to me. It was interesting. I went to Africa for nearly 2 weeks and learned a lot, met a lot of cool people, and then stayed with the program, helping them manage their inventory and their process for a few years after, until I just couldn't do it anymore. Time-wise and space-wise, there was a lot of issues surrounding why I could not maintain that anymore. But anyways, I still am fond of the program and have a open door to go back to Africa really anytime I'd like to participate in the program, which is super awesome. But it's like, that is like what a lot of people would be like, oh, that's super awesome, I would love to do that. But then you talk about, like, week to week volunteering at your community outreach or your soup kitchen and dedicating an hour of your life to passing out meals or helping cook meals, and it gets a little less exciting, right? Like, people are like, oh yeah, I could do that, and like, but like the dedication it takes, like, the type of person I was to go to Africa is common. Anybody that has the opportunity to go to Africa to do that, I think, would do that. The type of person it takes to volunteer on a weekly basis, to dedicate an hour or more of their life. Sometimes these people go for an entire, like, especially the people who cook these meals, they spend the entire day before cooking the meals, preparing them, and they, even before that, they're meal planning. So they're creating these meal plans, and I think of, like, the type of person that takes, and I'm like in awe, because there is no, like, big flight or exotic place to see, or like a cool story to tell, like, I went to Africa. Like, this is like people that genuinely are helping because they see the value in caring for their community and putting effort into continuously working towards investing in their community. And it's like really the type of person that we all should be applauding. Like, that's the type of person who's not posting about what they're doing. That's the type of person that's, like, just incorporating it in kind of part of the fabric of who they are. They're not politicians showing that they're doing this. They're not even, like, I can go back to me, like, Now with Show Up, it's a platform to get attention and get people excited about doing things, and then yes, it's in the paper and there's all these things, but at the end of the day, the real heroes of our community are the people that just do it, and then they just don't expect anything back. No applause, no pat on the back. They just do it. It's who they are. And those are the people that I need all of us to become. Like, I need to find that within myself, and in exploring that in this journey of doing what I'm doing, I'm finding inspiration in new people that I meet, the organizations that have existed in our community that I knew nothing about because I didn't take the time to find it. I don't think it's their responsibility at all. I think that, these organizations do their very best in trying to educate the community of what they are doing. But like, if you're not looking, you're not going to find it. So it's time for people to wake up in community. When you wake up in community, you kind of wake up in politics at the same time, because they, like, as much as most of these community organizations are try to be nonpartisan, they because of, sometimes it's their nonprofit status, and sometimes it's just they don't want to get involved in the, are you a Republican or are you a Democrat, because they really want to attract both sides of people and educate both sides of people. And so really, I think that how it's a unique and that Show Up can help is that I am trying to focus heavily on giving attention to community efforts and getting people involved and turning people into the type of person I was just explaining, but also being able to be the voice of the political part that affects these organizations. So it's like by design, right? Like, these organizations can't discuss politics, but politics can discuss them all day long. All day long. Politics can decide how much funding they can get. The politics can now decide if whether or not they're considered a terroristic threat. Like, if you're a nonprofit, and I get it, not all nonprofits are for the better of people. Like, I get that. But the nonprofits that I know, and even the people that I know that are trying to stay away from politics, are trying to do so because they feel like it's not good for the people. And then politics are allowed to just come in and just dismantle shit. And they get no protection. So that is partially why Show Up really is trying to balance community and politics. There needs to be a platform that says, these are the community efforts going on, and this is where we need help. Also, this is how policies coming down the hatch are going to affect them, or potentially affect them. Like, it's okay to talk about potential threats, because if we don't talk about potential threats and then they actually become a threat and then they actually happen, we'll be like, oh, well, why didn't we talk about this when we had a chance to actually do something about it? So everyone needs to get over the whole, well, that hasn't happened yet, we shouldn't talk about it. No. There's a lot of things that haven't happened yet, but that are being discussed in whispers in corners of rooms by people who have the power to make change in the areas that we don't sit in. We don't sit in those seats. We aren't in the, House or Senate. We need to start doing something now. So my ask for today is, think of one person that you know that incorporates community day in and day out without needing attention for it or an applause for it. They just do it. It's just who they are. Think about that person today. Maybe send them a text, say thank you for what you do, and think about how we can start doing that ourselves, because I'm trying to do that every day.